All right, this is my 2016 Cadillac ATS, and not too long ago the air conditioning went out, so instead of paying to have it done by a shop, and who knows what kind of job they would do, I figured I would do it myself. So I'll just go over it really quick. It was kind of difficult to get to, very difficult. This air box has to come off. This comes off, which is easy enough. You just unscrew that, you loosen that one, and you pop it up and move it out of the way. The next piece that has to come off is this air pipe here for the turbo. See this round piece? There's a nut, a bolt on the other end. There's two of them, one on the side, one on the opposite side. This pipe comes off. That's very easy to take off. The other end is a worm clamp again. And then the only other piece to take off is the bottom plastic piece that holds, keeps the, I guess, the air in. That's underneath the car. Just a couple of bolts. It was very difficult getting to the compressor. You can see the front. Where is it? Right here. This is the front. So that was, you know, that's easy. You don't need to get that. You just have to loosen the belt and take the belt off, the old one. And there's 3 bolts that hold it on. If you get the new one in your hand, you'll see where the 3 bolts are, but there's one right, let's see if I can figure out where it is. Right down in here. It's very difficult to get to. Let's see. Well, there's one in the front, one in the bottom, and then one in the back. So that was very difficult. When you take it out, you have to turn it sideways and then bring it out up through here. It has to turn and then come sideways up through here. That'll get it out. The new one going back in was 10 times easier than taking the old one out. I don't understand why, but sometime in 1990 they changed the condenser. The condensers are the piece, it looks like a radiator, that goes in front of the radiator. So the condenser sits right in behind the grill. You could probably see the little fins maybe. So the condenser is in here. It's right back in there. It looks like a radiator. They went to a parallel flow condenser. And what happens is it's designed differently, and according to the experts, even the AC Delco site on the compressor says it's a parallel flow condenser. You can't flush it. Now, you can get into all the arguments you want. So many people personally came here and said, just change the compressor, that's all you need to do. Well, that's not. You can do it. You want to leave the compressor, you know, change the compressor and leave everything else alone, that's fine. But the system was empty. When I drained it, all I saw was metal in the oil that came out. A lot of metal. So if you want to leave the condenser and think you're going to flush it, fine. It might last you 1 year. It might last you 9 years. We won't know. It's a crapshoot. But I'd rather not have the metal that I found in the system. I'd rather not have the metal in. So what I did was I ordered a new expansion valve. That's this right here. It's cheap. I unbolted this and I flushed the core piece back there, the evaporator. So I put in one side, out from the other with a tube into a bucket, and I flushed that until the flush came out clear. That worked all well and fine. I couldn't flush these two, which is very difficult. It's this one here. It comes up, comes here, then it goes down, then it goes this way, that way. That was difficult to flush. So what I did was I figured it's going to be much cheaper just to order the tubes, these pipes, this one, and I believe it's this one right here, which goes to that piece down there. See, I tie wrapped it. So I'm going to order that. They weren't expensive at all. So I figured, what the hell? Why bother having metal in it? So I'm going to order new ones and then a new condenser. So basically, it'll have a new compressor, new hoses, new condenser, new expansion valve, and the old evaporator core. That's in the dashboard. There's no way I'm taking the dashboard in this car apart just to get to that. It would be ridiculous. So once I do all that, I'm going to tighten it all up, connect all the connections that have to be, bring it to the shop, have them put vacuum on it. Hopefully it holds the vacuum. I'll give them the paperwork that came with the compressor. This compressor was a GM. It came with oil in it, so the paperwork shows how much oil they added, and I'll have them do the whole. Some of them come without the oil, so but I'd rather get the GM part. I don't want to deal with any other companies that maybe they're remanufactured. I like the car a lot. It's really a nice car, and I want to make it back to driving well. So I'll just have them vacuum it, see if it holds pressure, and then add the refrigerant and check the oil level that it's supposed to have, and hopefully everything's good to go. The compressor came with a plug on the port. I can't see it. It's so hidden in this car. It's ridiculous. I never worked on these new cars before, so they're tight. I'm used to the old style cars where you could sit in the engine bay, but yeah, look at that. That's some steering piece, I imagine, right there. Jesus, can't imagine. But anyway, this is I guess my first part one of the video. The second part, I'll probably take off the nose of the car and film how I do the condenser. It's only about 130 bucks for the condenser. That's not bad. So 130 bucks, maybe 30 bucks for this, 20 bucks for another pipe. That's really not that bad. It's just getting to all the stuff, taking everything apart. But my second video, I'll be taking it apart and videoing it. The first one, there was no way I was going to be able to video this. I was under the car cursing, and I couldn't get my hands through the frame. This would have been so much easier if the wheel well was a normal wheel well instead of being solid. But you can't get there behind. Like, I figured I was going to take the front wheel off and go straight in. That would have been fantastic. But the wheel wells are solid. There's no openings, so you can't do it that way. No, just jack the car up a little bit on one side and just try worming your hands in there. The thing that made it so much easier for me was I bought a 3 set of very short ratchets that they had the swivel on the head, so the head could go in different directions while you're ratcheting it. I picked them up really cheap, 12 bucks, and that made it perfect, because if my hand got in there, then I know the ratchet fit, and all I had to do was just, wiggle my hand a little bit, and it took a little while. So I used a ratchet and one open-end wrench to take the bolts off. Like I said, putting it back in was 10 times easier. The electrical clips, you can see, like, there's the holder of one of the, it's like the I think it protects the electric. Actually, it should be behind it a little better. But that right there, those, you have to use a pick to hold a piece down and pull it. That was a little pain in the butt, but it worked. So anywho, hopefully in another week or so, I'll have the rest of the parts. And part 2, I'll try to video most of it if I can, of putting everything in. And then once I get the refrigerant in the car and it's working, then I'll give an update on how I think it went and all that. And by the way, this is, like I said, it's a 2016 Cadillac ATS. This is the luxury edition with the 2.0 turbo. This is the wastegate actuator. The turbo's under here, and not a bad car. The previous owner took the mufflers out, so this one here is kind of loud. I'm probably going to put the mufflers back in. I don't like that loud sound. My son likes it, but I don't. So, anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.